So beautiful. And they look good too. I love it. Well, as we approach this Thanksgiving week, Reverend Temple and I would like our lessons to be about gratitude. Gratitude is a word that has been overused, and many have become numb to the word. We overlook its power. But let me tell you a couple of stories that will change your ideas about gratitude. On one early December evening, it was December the 4th, 2017, my husband and I and my stepdaughter, Stephanie, we noticed a faint glow in one of the mountains in the distant mountains of Ojai. So we got in our car and we drove to an area and we decided to watch it. And we weren't the only ones that noticed it. There were a number of people. In fact, there was a crowd wondering, what is that? Soon after, we smelled smoke. And many of us had the idea, well, that's a fire, but our firemen are always on top of things. They've got this handled. We went home, went to bed, only to wake up December the 5th to a cloud of smoke. We couldn't see our neighbor's house across the way. However, we could see a glow of fire about 1.5 miles away from our neighborhood. The Thomas fire had surrounded our little town, and Ojai was asked to evacuate. So we packed a few things, grabbed those things that we thought were valuable and important, and closed the door behind us. You'd be surprised what you grab in a hurry. Not knowing if we would ever see our home again, we took a moment. We gave thanks for a home that brought us such great happiness, and drove where we were encouraged to drive to get out of town, the 150. What would normally take about 30 minutes to get through the 150 took us over 3 hours. This was the view as we were leaving town. Well, you know the rest of the story. Many people lost their homes, but the town itself was spared. When we were permitted to come back, the little things became big things. A stocked refrigerator, heat, electricity, running water, and of course, a roof over our heads. And kindness was shown in extraordinary ways. People helping with horses and cattle and pets that had to be left behind. Steve and I went up to my sister-in-law's home. The fire came right into their property, and there were still some burning embers. So our family and friends and neighbors, we all got together. We formed a chain with buckets in hand from taking water from the pool and putting out the embers, not only with their property, but the property nearby. The whole town shifted with great compassion for each other. People checking in on one another. Are you okay? Do you have enough food? Do you have enough water? Do you need masks? Is there anything that we can do? Air filters were being passed out to the residents in that town. Firemen and women from all over the country. And they just showed up. We could see their fire trucks that said Arizona, New Hampshire. We were like, oh my gosh. And many of us made meals and desserts with great appreciation. My friends, the word gratitude doesn't even describe what we felt when we saw the firemen and women fighting to save our town, when truckers came to deliver simple, everyday needs. It became so that the small things made us so very happy. And many of you know the feeling because the Thomas Fire made its way into this county as well. We take the little things for granted until there's a possibility of all of them being taken away. Now there's another story I'd like to tell. It happened to all of us, the pandemic. We were told to stay 6 feet away, to wear masks, to stay indoors if possible, and for a very long time we were cut off from each other. So when California finally opened up and this church finally opened back up, the first person I saw was Shirley Campbell. And we hugged and we cried. I remember that hug. And I will never forget that hug. It was, both of us were so overwhelmed with gratefulness. Maybe some of you can remember that first real soul hug out in the world. And the word gratitude just doesn't even describe how we felt. But after a while, this wears off and we forget. And we get back into the drunken stupor of the third dimensional world, where we think that the most important things are things like politics and who we voted for, resentment for groups of this kind or that kind, all fighting to have their place heard, complaining, gossip, and the little menial things. We all do it. My hand is up. We chew over and we ruminate about a lot of issues, and when we do so, we miss out. So maybe this week, I would like to ask you for a favor. Stop. Look. You look. You open your eyes and see what is right in front of you. Beautiful people, kindness shown, a smile, love from a pet. Look at the people right here. My goodness, an array of colors and decorations. Oh my goodness, an array of colors and decorations. So stop, look. Stop and hear. Open your ears. Hear nature in all forms, the wind, the birds, the distant dog, the children across the way. And really, today, listen to the harmonic voices of our choir. Really open your ears and hear. Open your nose, and I'm going to ask you, if you go out there and get fresh baked goods or coffee, just smell it first. The smell of fresh coffee, a new fresh-born baby. Have you ever smelled a new fresh-born baby? Open up all your senses, for all this richness has been given to you, and there is no end to it. And that is what life is all about, to be aware and to enjoy what has been given to you. My friends, if you are grateful, you are not fearful. If you are not fearful, you are not cruel. Therefore, if you are grateful, you act from a place of a sense of enough, and not from a sense of scarcity. You feel like you're enough and you're willing to share with one another, to share of your kindness and your generosity. If you are grateful, you enjoy the differences between one another. And you are respectful of everybody, which means equal respect. And you see only one race, the human race. We wake up every day and choose the life we are going to live. So why not make it a grateful one? And how do we live gratefully? By experiencing and becoming aware that every moment is a given moment. This moment is a gift. And you have the opportunity to enjoy it. And if you miss it, it's because you're rushing through life. So, I want to show you something that Steve and I built. He built it for me. I painted it. It goes up every year on November the 1st. That's our gratitude board. It's huge. It's huge. And by the time Thanksgiving Day rolls around, you can't see one little piece of black on that sign. This sign has become a tradition, and people come from all over just to add what they are grateful for. We have watched every year the UPS man. He jumps out of that truck and he writes whatever it is that he's grateful for. It's very fun. Pictures have been taken of that sign from perfect strangers just to post on their Facebook and Instagram pages to remind the world that there is good. The reality of your life is always now. And what we have is this moment. It's all we have. This moment is a gift, my friends. So let us rejoice and be grateful in it. And with that, I say, Happy Thanksgiving.
Let's give her another, more love, yes? More love. So a New York cab driver picks up a nun, taking her to her direction, and the nun looks and she's kind of baffled by the fact that the cab driver keeps staring at her in the rearview mirror. And she's like, I have to ask you, why are you staring at me, sir? He said, well, you know, I have this thought. It makes me very uncomfortable, but there's something I've always wanted to ask a nun. And she said, son, I've been around forever. I've seen a little bit of everything. There's absolutely nothing you can ask me that's going to upset me. And he said, well, I've always wanted to kiss a nun. She said, okay, there's only two things. You must be single and you must be Catholic. Oh, I am. Well, then pull over there at the alleyway. And she proceeds to give him a kiss that would make most of us blush. And they drive away, and she looks, and the cab driver is now crying. And she goes, oh my gosh, what's wrong? He says, sister, I have to confess. I lied to you. I'm married, and I'm Jewish. And she said, that's okay. My name is Kevin, and I am heading to a Halloween party. I am grateful because in the best of times and the most shadowed times, I am still myself. I do not have to play another character or another role. I can be around my family and the holy days and not be a chameleon and be like somebody that I'm not or use words that I don't normally use. I am grateful that I can stand clearly and be that authentic self that we all long to be, and not playing a different character, but truly who we are all the time. I meant it with every part of my being. When you are excited about your life is excited about you. When you are clear, when there's no confusion, when your only task is to be you. Everybody breathe. The pain comes from when you're not you. Many of you know that I've been preparing since September to be an actress in a play called Yoga Non-Dance at the Biltmore Hotel. And I was there all week. My wife and I, BB, were there. And it was a sold-out crowd, and it was just really a gift. But people came up to me after and said, I didn't realize that you were an actress. And I said, it started out really early in my life, when I was a mystic, when I was gay, when I was showing up with my family as Southern Baptist, and when they would look at me no longer with the eyes of love in a reflection, I became a very good actress. And in that part of that play, I stated that I played a part, which wasn't true, that I'd been homeless, and then discovered the writings of Yogananda, which I did in real life discover at 19, part of the saving grace between that and unity. But in the play, when I reveal that I had been homeless, etc., I say, you know, but don't be confused about that, because I don't know what it's like to be homeless. I have no idea. I know I have immense compassion. I have no idea. But I do know I was homeless for the first part of my life because I couldn't relate to a God that couldn't be accepting of me. You understand that? And it's not just gay people. Hello. It's people of different religions. It's people that can't marry because one's a Jew and one's that. It's all this made-up mumbo-jumbo stuff that has nothing to do with God, but everything to do with human made-up stories that create division, yes? And so in that space, there are many people who live in dwelling places that cost millions of dollars behind great fences. But it doesn't mean they feel home inside themselves. Home, your individuation of home is when you know that you were created unique, only you, no one can replace you, no one can mock you, and no one can be original about you but you. And so that's when you really know and you have that gratitude of a homecoming, you see. Many years when I would get into this holiday thing, we call it the holidays, D-A-Z-E. You know, you start noticing people. Right? The holidays. And I wanted to be different, or to allow myself to not get caught up in certain things. I didn't want to get caught up in all the, I got to give the gift because you gave me one, thank you. I didn't want to get caught up in all those kind of things. And I wanted to really look at this as being a time for each of us to be born into the identity of the unraveling self of who we are. And it's not a one-time event. We are birthed many times throughout the course of the year. And so I was very clear that I didn't want to get into all that, but I still would get caught up into the stories about it. And, you know, you'd say, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? It's middle November and you're telling me now get back with you in January? Get back with me after the first of the year. Well, that's almost 2 months of your life. And I would just go about it, you know, to a couple of people that felt like listening to me. And one day I had my awakening. And I realized that in America, that's our permission to take a vacation. And it just changed everything. Because you see, Europeans take a month off. But overachievers is the best thing that can happen to us these holidays. Because we get to take a change of patterning. Are you with me? Does this work for you? Because I still have a couple of more minutes. One of the things that's really, really changed my life, a beautiful man named Jack, he taught me to sit down every morning of my life in the early days of my recovery. He taught me to write down 50 things that I loved about myself. It was very uncomfortable, like when I was learning to write in elementary school. It was extremely uncomfortable. I stayed somewhere between 5 and 8 things. And yet I pushed myself every day until I could come up with 50 things that I loved about my life. I love my health. I love my life. I love my energy. I love my friends. Say something with me. Say it out loud. I love my eyes. I love my community. I love Noreen. I love all these things. I love energy. I love my code. I love that we have sound system and chairs. And so I did that for about 4 years. About 4 years. See, we often get into the quick fix. But even Yogananda said, when you will do something for 3 years of your life, it will transform all of your limitations, borrow none. So I did that for 4 years. I would like to urge those of you that are willing to start that and be uncomfortable. You know, that's where we grow the most, is when we are uncomfortable. And that's our job, really, is to offer comfort to the afflicted and to afflict the comfortable. Right? You can stay home, be comfortable. Don't even have to get dressed, okay? That's what it's all about. Gratitude, being grateful. I am grateful to know that life never dies. My previous pets were 2 little Yorkie brothers, and they were, oh my gosh, I love them so much. They were like less than 7 pounds. I toted them around everywhere I went, one on each arm. And we were just quite the pair. Our hair looked alike. We were a team. You know, you can picture it. We were a team. Well, one of the little boys at 14, he died, and it was just heartbreaking for me. And so about 2 or 3 weeks after he had died, I said to him, I said, you know what I love? You know what my sign is? Feathers. I'll tell you. I said, you know what my sign is? And show me you're okay. And I let it go. And I'm walking with 3 other friends on the beach. We live right across the street from St. Pete Beach. And we're walking along, and where we lived is very uncrowded, kind of like Carpinteria. And so we look up, we're walking along, and we're going, what is happening? There were 200 plus feathers right in this area that we walked. And next Sunday, I said, love never dies. And I threw those feathers in the air, and I let them cover my whole being. For love never dies. I am so grateful for that. I'm so grateful to know that we are a web of nature, never can be separated with her or by her. I'm grateful for a man named Anthony Lawrence, that his very message changed my life forever. In that, Anthony Lawrence was a trailblazer and an activist for the elephants and them not being killed for a little piece of white. And he spent his whole life dedicating to their lives. When he died peacefully at his home, elephant after elephant after elephant after elephant after elephant from near and far came to his property and wept. True story. I am grateful knowing how connected we really are, and I am in gratitude and urge all of us to be in gratitude that we are connected to every face we see, every life we come in touch with, every moment of surrender, every space you see. When we live in Psalms 46:10, be still and know that I am God. A lot of people go, be still and know I am God. That's great. That's a head start right there. But when you say, be still and know that I am God, it's the that is showing up as God in your life at the moment, whatever it is. It is that place, because gratitude is based upon what we can see, where grace, the vibration of grace, comes from what we cannot see. So that's just like Reverend Cathy was saying, when we are prayed up with gratitude, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, there's a new vibration. So when the level of grace is coming in, you feel it, not in your head, but in your heart. So I'll close by telling a story about a lady. She goes to the post office every other week and she buys stamps. And one day the clerk said, "Ma'am, you do know that there's a machine over there and you can get stamps out of the machine, don't you?" And she said, "I do know that, but who am I going to talk to about my arthritis?" Think about who you're talking to and what you're saying when you talk to them. Bless you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. I'm still here. Okay. Still here. All right. If our singers would come forward and our ushers would come forward, now's where everybody really gets excited. They start clapping a lot. Clap with me. Because it's time for the offering. It amazes me to see how happy all of you get. Yay, I've been waiting on the offering. So excited. We have a tremendous sense of humor here, so that's just the way it is. But truly and genuinely, this is your community. It belongs to you, and we give great thanks, and we give tremendous gratitude for the fact that you put value on this place. And you put value on things you vote for. And you vote for things by giving and allocating funds for them. So we thank you for that. Let us say our offering statement. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I share. And so it is.
Look at the world.
So I'm feeling called to pray. What about that? Wouldn't that work? So let us come together and know the truth of who we are this day. We call forth the new energy and every cell and vibration of your being aligning with the truth of the divine. We call forth any false idea or limitation or tattoo you may have placed upon your inner awareness, that it is released and cast out right here and now. We hold this place of fundamental freedom within each of us, for we are created by nature. Our law is innate to understand, to be free, to be fully expressive, and to allow. We give thanks for the energy moving forward within ourselves, the emerging self, that we will have the courage to not enter into the gates of an old paradigm, not enter into an idea of lack or limitation in any way, but that we will boldly stand in that new place of grace, commanding and demanding the greatness of who we are and how we have come into being. We celebrate a vitality here in this place, for we believe in the ageless human. We release any concept of old or tired or all those made-up stories. We are healed and revealed in a new vibration, working with a natural law, which allows us to fly. And so it is, and so it shall be. Our men, our women, our children, adopt a pet. There you go. On Thursdays, led by Reverend Michelle Hubbard, often with the guest of Dr. Jim Quacko, there is a wonderful metaphysical class in the chapel from 10 to noon. And each and every week is self-contained, so you can come anytime. Love to have you. Today, drum roll, today, drum roll, today, drum roll. Thank you. Thank you so much. After service at noon, we're going to have a panel called Aging, Myth or Reality. If you've signed up, great. If you haven't and you feel like you want to stay on and you don't want to go to your next destination, we'd love to have you at noon. Those of you that did sign up, lunch is in the chapel. So we're very excited about that. We have lots of great teachers that are going to be here, and Cathy and I are going to be part of that panel too, because we know at 40 we have a lot to say. They're laughing. I know. Okay, so you don't want to miss this coming Wednesday evening at 6:30. Come one, come all. We're going to have just a upbeat, celebratory service, 6:30 here in the sanctuary, and dessert after. If you don't get your sugar in here, you're going to get it out there. So we'd love to have you. We're going to have also apple cider with nothing in it. Unless you bring your own. We won't go there. I better move on. Okay. Also, the well-known Unity Singers Cantata will be December 2nd at 7 p.m. Lots of activities. And our flower dedication is made by Kyoko's Soaring Eagle in joyous memory of Joseph Mastriani. Yes, bless you. And our board president, Russ Chapin, will share with us about the Blessing Registry.
He will. Well, this is not on. There we go. And I do have a Vanna. I wasn't planning on having one, but there she is. Temple Vanna.
Temple Vanna.
So this is, I love these holidays. This is my favorite time of year. We get to express our gratitude. We get to express and practice giving and receiving, and it's so much fun. It's so full of heartfulness. Don't you all love it? And all the things that are happening here at Unity of Santa Barbara. I'm so grateful for this ministry, for this place that we call Unity, especially this time of year. I'm so grateful for all of you and all of the ways that each one of you is blessing our ministry here at Unity, and all the ways that you do that. And so we have, every year, we have what we call the Blessings Registry. And it's been an evolving kind of thing. It used to be called something else, but we love the idea of blessing. We have the things that we are blessed by, all of this list of things that we are blessed by, and then we give you all an opportunity to bless this ministry by sponsoring some of these things. The list right now is a little lean, and if you can't at home, whoa. Hello. I think I did something wrong there with the lighting, but if you are at home, we want you to participate in this also. We've broken down a lot of the things that we need to pay attention to. There are things like the electric bill and the fact that you are listening to me right now because we have this AV equipment. The fact that we have a music department that brings you wonderful, wonderful programs like the cantata that's coming up on December 2nd. So what we're asking is that each one of you look into your heart, look at the board, find something on this list that you would like to sponsor, that you would like to be a blessing toward supporting this ministry. We have the board out there. There's lots and lots of places for you to write things on here. So please, afterwards, go out and check it out. We're going to be doing this for a couple more weeks. This is a fundraiser. We are trying to, well, I'm not going to go for the less. I'm going to go for the more. $50,000. Let's have $50,000 worth of blessings for Unity of Santa Barbara. So please join us, or more. So please join us today, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Thank you. We have one more announcement. We're featuring for the holidays our local famous author, Fannie Flagg. We have books in the bookstore, A Red Bird Christmas, and they are signed by her. So great gift to give. And we thank her for her blessings and for her love of Unity of Santa Barbara.
All right, and we invite our children forward as we sing This Little Light of Mine. So if you will, let us stand and welcome our children. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
She's got it.
See.
Thank you for the warm welcome. I want to let you know that in the Lighthouse Youth Ministry, each one of these beautiful beacons is a minister. Nice. And so we treat them as if they already know things that we don't. And today we did colorings of love that have God in the center, and we had a little bit of Lego action in building God. And so we invite you to come and check out where God is in the youth ministry today.
Oh wow, that's beautiful. That's wonderful.
All right. And so with that, now let us stand and sing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. It's okay, I'm good. I'll hold myself. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, and we all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And join me in the prayer for protection.
The light of God surrounds us.
The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Amen.
I'll be right there. I'm going to go get some eggs.